Let's discuss the issues raised in that report now in a little more detail with Simon Ingram from UNICEF, who joins us from our studio in Amman. Simon, I know it's only a temporary school, but it very much looks and feels like it. It's in a tent and there are no textbooks.
Yeah, it has to be said that things are not perfect, but you've got to remember where we're starting from. Little more than 2.5 weeks ago, the plot of land where the school, the tent school that you saw in the film there, is now standing was simply empty desert. So a lot has been done in a very short period of time. And what we didn't see in the report there is the fact that just adjacent to that very site, the construction is already well advanced on what will be prefabricated buildings to house even more children as the needs of the camp rise faster than ever. And that's been the other issue that we've had to contend with, along with our partners from the Ministry of Education.
And presumably those temporary buildings, those prefabs, will provide shelter in winter. Now, before all of this, the Jordanian authorities were allowing the children of Syrian refugees to attend Jordanian schools. Wouldn't that have been better for the kids to actually go to proper schools?
It was certainly our first option, and that was why we worked very hard with the government, and thanks to our advocacy with them and the generosity and solidarity that they showed, something like 17,000 Syrian children have been enrolled or in the process of being enrolled inside Jordanian schools. But as the numbers rose, and we got that surge, if you remember, in refugee numbers coming across the border around July and August, it became clear that these Jordanian schools simply couldn't cope. Despite bringing in extra kids into the classroom, even though we put on double shifts in many of the schools on those towns along the border, they simply couldn't cope. And that's why we had to go for the less preferred option of establishing a school inside the camp.
It's a lot to have landed upon UNICEF's plate, isn't it? I mean, it's coped admirably well under the circumstances. Who picks up the bill for all of this? Do you get help from the Jordanian authorities, or is it up to UNICEF to provide the education?
Well, our work up in Zaatari camp is part of a much broader multinational effort led by UNHCR. And we are one part of a much bigger operation, and the Jordanian government have certainly played their part up till now. The big issue, the overriding issue, I would say, is the fact that the funding necessary to support the expansion of the camp and to allow for the development of facilities that will help protect these people as winter approaches and conditions considerably deteriorate, those funds have simply not become available as yet. And we're making a very urgent appeal to all international donors to come forward to make sure that children are not only housed, sheltered and protected inside the camp, but they're able to do so in decent conditions which will protect them against the very bitter cold which is only around the corner.
Simon, many thanks indeed. Simon Ingram there reporting, being with us rather live from Amman.